Hello and welcome, DWR Randomizer fans, to this quarterfinal matchup between Betastrep and DK9146. This is game 2, and I am Aaron Chiutu. With me in the booth tonight is Tilo. Tilo, welcome in, sir.
Thank you so much. I am so excited about this race. These are two long-standing veteran members of the community who have put in 100 million races over the last few years, and just absolutely amazing depth of knowledge, talent, etc. So I've been looking forward to this series so much.
Yeah, and the first game did not disappoint. It was a heck of a start, really brutal. Everyone just struggling to get anything going. Ultimately, there was a big shift in just the exploration when DK's exploration didn't come up with anything particularly good, and Beta's did. And DK wasn't able to cross the stream and do what he did until it was way too late.
Yeah, it was so tight. I was the whole time you had no idea who was winning until right at the end when that grind started separating. It was so much interesting stuff. DK did a really nice count at the very beginning, and it was his beloved flute. Had it been something else, maybe it totally changes the complexion of that seed. But anyway, here we go.
Yes, it is noteworthy. DK has since deleted his flute love emote. It no longer exists. He's not happy with it. But yes, a 6 strength sleep spell right off the start. A spare key, 2 spare keys, all sorts of keys. Wow.
My dislike for double key starts is very well documented, but triple key starts I don't mind so much.
Yeah, it's when it's one of them, then there's a lot of I don't know what to do. When there's 2 of them, so Beta pops back in to get the chest glitch. DK goes straight to it, sees Cursed Belt, Herb, Cursed Belt, and Torch.
So I'm actually going to go back in at this point and set it up and do a Cursed Belt grind. That gets you a ton of money at that point. Or actually, you could do a Torch grind. We have 6 AP, so actually I changed my mind. I'm doing that instead.
Yes, and that is exactly what DK has in mind, and it looks like it's what Beta has in mind, too. So they might toss the Cursed Belt, but they might also just save one of them, at least, for a Copper Sword. Looks like DK didn't even bother throwing any of them away. Went straight out, and we can see the north end of the world.
Both of our players absolutely thrilled with that.
Yes, both have been known to do reverse counts. Beta is absolutely top tier at it. DK is a little more rough, so having something where it's a really easy setup is good for him.
And we already have level 2, 410 Hurt and Radiant. Well, 4100 Hurt and Radiant. So no more need for torches.
Yeah, and that Hurt spell has DK going as far west as he could, trying to get into Zone 2, see if he can take out some real high-end enemy. Has to be in the next zone over. I'm pretty sure he's more than 15 steps.
Beta actually staying in Zone 0 to try to pull out this Magician. And unfortunately for him, it throws out a heal. But both of our players had managed to get a 2 torch off earlier and didn't see the heals, so not a high percentage.
And there it is, Droll down, level 3 for DK. So
0980.
Yes, and normally you'd be like, oh no, only 10 strength. But they have the Hurt spell, so who cares? They aren't going to be doing a whole lot of weapon swinging anyway, and ouch.
And we're not going to be hurting that Warlock either.
It's like, yes, hello Warlock, nice to meet you, and goodbye forever.
It is just plugging away at these Magicians. DK now looking at the south zone, I'm assuming, to see if there's anything else interesting there.
Yeah, I'm actually not surprised for either decision here. The fact that Beta is just chilling in this zone isn't bad at all. He's got level 4 now. So we'll see what that is.
I-5-1-1. And meanwhile, DK comes across the swamp cave just a bit south of the castle and sees a Wraith Knight. Tries to put it to sleep. not sure if 3 hertz we're going to get it down anyway, although this may just be a try and run type of sleep.
Yeah, at that point, you're doing it. And I was thinking, too, it would have to stay asleep for quite a while. There's a lot of luck there. Okay, so we see another green dragon, and we see a Druin with DL2 Breath on Beta's side. 2 Zone 2 enemies that are just awful. It'll be interesting to see if, where they decide to go. DK is still pushing out just a little bit. I think he's still got those cursed belts, and he kind of wants to use them. He's going to sleep the Warlock. We'll see if if he's able to get that down, because that is quite a bit of experience here still at level 3.
I mean, it's a reasonable risk, because DL2 maxes out at 50%. So even if it does wake up, you've got decent odds of surviving, and of course you've got decent odds it won't wake up. So it's a reasonable gamble.
So he takes the very brief experience lead. Well, maybe not brief, but he does get it back, and Beta gets through the cave, and oh gosh, that looks like it's just to the east.
Well, maybe we'll have a second continent search tile, and it'll just be that easy.
I hope I actually kind of hope that's the case. Like, look at the desert to the right of DK, and oh yeah, it looks very similar. No, it's not quite the same. I'm just hoping it happens. I want to see it. I want to see them see each other. I want to see DK walk into the cave. Ah, shoot! Now he's still going. Uh-oh.
And he hits a metal slime that cannot run from him. That's a huge boon to DK right here.
It's worth noting he has an herb. He can do some stuff with that.
Well, DK's not gonna... Well, that's one way he's not gonna get the metal slime down.
Yes, herb not gonna do anything against that. DK sent home. Beta also sent home, but did figure out that the swamp cave is actually to the west of Start. So, if it's not a 2-continent seed, that's going to be kind of painful to get to. Yeah, this is the first time Beta's pushed this far over, I think. So
I do wonder if that little spot we see on the left of Beta's screen is just a couple of tiles east of the swamp cave exit. I think that might be landmarkable.
I mean, while he is trying to take down this Warlock, gets it down, does not see the DL2 Breath, and picks up level 5.
2, 0, 1, 5, and outside. Very nice if you want to go back to the second continent. Hey, look at that! More DL2 Breath.
We are up to 3 enemies in our beginning zones with DL2 Breath. I mean, that's bad now, but that might be good later. I think there's usually not more than some certain number that has it. I don't think it's a restriction. It just doesn't tend to happen.
Yeah, statistically you're only going to hit a certain amount, but I don't think you can actually make any assumptions based upon what you've seen before. I would love it if there was many, many more DL2 monsters, especially in the Sharlock arena. And I think these runners would love it too. They do not want easy seeds.
No, in fact, if I'm fighting a metal slime and I get nuked by one, I'm like, okay, so the other guy probably didn't get it, and then I feel some relief.
Yeah, that is absolutely right on the other side of the castle right there. You got that mountain range right below it and that same little shape of the coastline there, so that's a easy landmark if needed.
And there Beta sees it. He sees that lovely DL2 Breath in the Warlock. DK tried to sleep the Werewolf, which was the correct decision with their agility, but unfortunately did not work. We're calling the DL2 Breath the Carolina Reaper Breath now in chat. I can appreciate that. Having actually heard of what that was before.
And Warlock resists DK Sleep. I believe that's is it 3 in 16 or 2 in 16 resist? I can't remember.
It's 3 out of 16. It's just a little bit higher than some other things, just enough to be annoying.
Well, I know the 3 out of 16 hurt more resist on the Wraith Knights is the bane of my existence, so I can see 3 of 16 often not hitting.
Meanwhile, while this is happening, Beta is still just going straight after the Warlock. That one did not work, but he is extremely close to level 6. And, something interesting could happen at level 6. The stats have been fairly suppressed. The hit points is the only thing that looks... No, the hit points don't even look good. Honestly, the stats are just awful.
Yeah, it just takes that one breakout level here, and any monster now is going to do it for Beta to get to level 6. If level 6 isn't there, then it's going to be more interesting to go on. I mean, Warlocks and Skeletons aren't bad to hit level 7 on, but with the DL2 on the Warlocks, it can be really annoying. Our level is 3, 4, 5, 14.
Yeah, I don't think that pushes you out of these starting zones. Oh, we have a Metal Scorpion. That's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially now that we know there's a Metal Scorpion on top of the Skeleton here. You could even, if you wanted to, run from the Warlocks if you were worried about it. But I feel like the Warlocks might be 25%. I'm not sure. I do see Hoodie's question in chat. If you run into another Metal Slime, do you swing or do you hurt? I would absolutely throw hurt strats in there. I've done statistical analysis on it before, and it's 21% to kill a Metal Slime with hurt, but that presumes you're doing it before it runs away, and not before you get DL2 breathed, so it's going to be substantially less likely, but your really only survival rate, if it's going to throw it out that much, is a crit, which is 1 in 32, so the 1 in 16 better than the 1 in 32, you do throw hurts at it.
Also, while we're doing all of that, DK has got enough money to buy a key. He's going to pop in. Looks like he's at least going to get a magic refill. I think he's lost enough hit points that he would just want to keep going with that. But he does have an herb. Maybe he might try to push a little bit with the money. He's got enough for 2 keys, so maybe that's what he's thinking. But, sorry, I'm rambling a little bit too much. My point was that Beta saw that the Warlock has heal more, which makes it even grosser.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely gross. I missed that, and so that's obviously got to be a 25% as well. Oh, this would be really nice for DK if he had MP. Okay, that would be less nice for DK.
I would probably still... I'd be like, you know what? He's going to kill me in 2 hits, so this isn't really much different. And I would be real tempted to go right back there. We did not know, but there's the Silver Harp trade-in underneath Tantagel, so at some point that will have to be accessed to win the seed.
It looks like Beta's going to head back to this area again and see what he can find. It looks to me like we might be completely cut off, actually, from the rest of the map where we are. I'm not sure. Oh, that's right. DK was able to go to the east some. I forgot about that. Seems southwise, we might be cut off.
Yeah, that is the only way out of that, except through Swamp, and Swamp goes all the way to the west coast and the north. If somehow this does get blocked off, and this is instead of having a second continent, we have a minor starting continent, it's going to be a heck of a trek.
Well, DK is back in the Wolflord zone, seems to be wanting to find stuff there, potentially just finding the Wolflord, but the Wolflord surprise attacks him, throws a hurt more out there. He does not get a chance to even throw a sleep towards him.
And DK really kind of needs that. He is behind somewhat significantly now in experience, almost a full level. He's going to pick up level 6 here, and Beta will be possibly one kill away if he can get through the skeleton from level 7.
I don't think Beta's going to make it on this trip. I'm not sure what he could be able to kill with only 1 hurt. Second part, that wouldn't kill him in 1 swing.
DK finding a Spectre. Spectres, again, they're a little bit sleep resistant. All the ghost enemies can be kind of funky about stuff. But this would be a nice 47 experience get if he can do it. And it doesn't look like 2 hurts is going to do it, but it could have.
Yeah, Spectre is by far my favorite mid-game enemy to see early, because as far as the mid-game enemies go, they are comparable in experience, but have less hit points and less attack, so they're so much easier to kill.
Yeah, it is, I don't know. DK has been walking for quite a ways now, and is this going to be a dead end? Because if it is, then we have exactly that scenario.
We can't say for sure, because you never know if there's a bridge right there, but it doesn't look promising for this continent to go any further.
I mean, heck, to be honest, having to go all the way across the north end, basically, east and then down still is pretty awful. But hey, Beta's picked up 7.
Well, there's our power gain, 13, 5, 4, and heal more, but honestly, that 13 power doesn't help out an awful lot because our power was so bad to begin with. It means hurt is still our primary weapon here, and it looks to me like Beta's intent is to stay here till level 9.
Yeah, I mean, neither of these grinds are really what you want. Like, if you can get the Metal Scorpion a little bit more often, it'd be nice, but you'll take this. This is hurt, grind, and you're not going to be able to reach too far beyond this. Even with heal more with 28 MP, you maybe get 2 fights on something if you have to use that.
DK finds a Wraith in this zone, so it's a nice little zone, but the Wraith also has hurt more. Wraiths are reasonably resistant to sleep, so he fails the first 2 sleeps and then sees the hurt more. But again, I still think sleeping it and trying to hurt it down is the right strategy rather than being scared of that hurt more.
Oh no, he gets to see a Metal Scorpion. Lovely. The Wraith is, I think it's as resistant as the Werewolf and the Green Dragon, 7 out of 16, so fighting it that way, you don't really want to do that, but obviously that seems to be the way to go, because otherwise, oh shoot, there's a Star Wyvern with hurt?
The safest monster we've seen yet.
He tries to sleep it. It fails. Beta is going after the Wraith. Will he see it or not? And yes, he will.
Star Wyverns 8 and 16 resist from that sleep, so, only 50-50 to do it, but with hurt, you have the MP. If it stays asleep and even if it wakes up and throws another hurt at you, you could potentially knock it down for 105 experience.
It looks like Beta is going to push a little bit. And he's not, again, he died just going to the first enemy he fought, basically. That was outside of Zone 0. I don't think that's enough for you to give up on push if you think push is the way to go. Golem, not what you want to see. 35 agility is a slight favorite, but ugh.
I do like seeing that Wyvern. Sleep misses again. We're having terrible luck with our sleep. I mean, Wyverns, you've got a 3 and 4 chance of landing that sleep, and he's failed twice now.
Yeah, gets the sleep to land just enough to cast heal more. Now he's going to cast hurt possibly 3 times. Very MP intensive fight, and suddenly if he gets through the Wyvern, gets that 60-ish experience, 64. That's great, but now he's got just enough MP for a heal more, and that's it. Oh, and this is a promising enemy to fight. He might be underestimating how hard it hits, though.
Yeah, we saw that hit, then we throw the sleep out there. Again, Rogue Scorpions have a little bit of resistance to sleep, but finally got one of those not perfect odds. And managed to survive that hit, so let's see if this hurt can do it.
He gets it. And immediately sees a stop sign.
Yeah, Armored Knight with Hurt More. I don't mind seeing Hurt More on Armored Knights. Their swing, once you have Erdrick's Armor, their swing in Hurt More are relatively comparable. And, of course, if they have low stop spell, then you could potentially go after them. Or low stop spell resist, you could potentially go after them as a grind without losing a whole lot of resources. And if they have high stop spell resist, it's no different than a vanilla one.
Yeah, seeing all this stuff. Really kind of wish you would have stop spell at this point, but sometimes stop spell can be a heck of a godsend. And sleep has been that spell so far. Hurt's been useful, but I think sleep has been kind of the big one, and getting at least even to hurt. But yeah, here we go. Heal more. DK goes in and heals. I think is he gonna do something in the treasury? No, he just wants to maintain his money, I suppose. Try to not have to worry about key stuff here after a little bit.
And this Warlock, if Beta... Nope, Beta's gonna... The next monster Beta gets down, unless the Zone 0 monster, is going to get him to the next level. Like, for example, this one.
Just get Spectre down. Again, the Spectre has 3 out of 16 sleep resist as well. So, be able to get through that.
Let's see if 8 is our breakout level. We have 1 power, 7 response speed, 4 hit points, 6 magic points, and return. Not a whole lot to write home about.
Yeah,
Beta's about to get the fun news.
Well, he might get the fun news. We know these things can be kind of funny.
There we go.
Nice.
Had to be getting all excited having gotten 2 swings as well.
The game likes to lure you in and get you some expectations and then just end them.
But that dramatically increases the value of Repel, because if there are metal slimes hidden anywhere, they can be very difficult to run from, and even though they might run from you, they can pose quite a danger. But if you cast Repel, you will never see them, you don't have to worry about it.
DK has managed to get about 100 experience from about 150 still, but he's gotten a lot of that gap caught up while all that was happening. But he is going to try to maintain this money. He's going to go and get that heal more. I'm wondering if he might just go ahead and buy keys now and stop worrying about it, because I think he can get 5.
I will kind of second what chat's saying here, that Beta's actually probably very happy to see that stop spell, because he saw the DL2 breath on the metal slime, because he saw the metal slime so late, and he knows, hey, that would have been easy for DK to find when he was below strength, which he in fact did find. But when the DL2 breath comes out, you go, oh good, that means he probably didn't get the kill either.
Indeed, I am always happy when the metal slimes are impossible to kill. Let's see, Beta is going more south. We haven't seen either of them kind of push through that swamp area yet. Oh, no, there he goes. And there's nothing. Okay. So I think we are dead set onto that area where DK died with that golem as the only way to go on the main continent. Oh, and this Magic Wyvern, wonderful enemy to fight, very weak to sleep, hurt, decent odds of getting it in 3, and it has weak breath.
That is a scary moment when you first see breathing fire right after you're right about to get it down.
So DK, oh, and there's a town, it's been here this entire time.
Yeah, I missed this particular fork when DK was doing it, but there apparently is like an east and a south fork, and this was the south fork, and DK took the east, so we do have something right around here.
He runs as he should. There's no reason to fight anything here, don't risk anything, and it's Brackenary. I guess you can't complain about whatever town. There's no weapon.
Gives himself kind of the beginner armor here with chains mail and the small shield, just enough to take a few less damage on your hits. Also, if you want to go, I mean, he doesn't have the money for it. He could sell the copper sword, the cursed belt that he has. I think he may have 2 of them actually, and essentially get herbs and fairy water. But he and DK are both known dislikers of the Breckenary item shop, so it does not surprise me that he bypassed that option for a non-copper sword.
Yeah, it's like, why is your town so big? Why don't you put things close to each other? Do you guys not like each other? What are you doing? I think Beta noticed the hurt, but not the time to try to fight that. Does get away again. The borderline where sleep is more effective in getting away from enemy than running for Star Wyverns is 40 agility, or at 40 agility, you might as well just run.
Yeah, I think 42 is the agility where you're 50% to run from everything except for red dragons and armored knights. And so at this point, everything you'd be better off running from than sleeping.
Actually, I have a chart here for that I don't use very often because really Star Wyverns and like werewolves are the two big ones. But did you know at 78 agility you are finally more likely to run away from a droll magi than you are to sleep it and get away?
I did not know that.
There's your fun fact of the seed. Do you see DK up here in this area still? He did pick up 8. He got very little out of that level.
Going this way, Beta just saw the other side of that river that DK died right beside.
Alright, so it was going to be a dead end, and he might dip down the way he did the next time he decides to push out. I don't know if he'll push out or if he'll just keep grinding. He hasn't had any real success pushing, and even though he has heal more, he might have some sense that he's a bit behind on the experience.
We have Cole and Sherlock sightings going across that second swamp, so this is the only path left to go at this point. So it's not like DK can miss these locations, but the Death Necklace is found, which is a nice little gold grind you can get if you need it. You know, if there's a broadsword here, full or maybe even a half plate. Half or maybe even a full plate, I'm trying to say.
I think Beta, once he checks the shop, he will, if there is, the only weapon there is a flame sword, he will literally grind up to that. He is pretty big on there being some sort of weapon, some sort of stat boost, and so he's going to at least go to Broad here, I think, but I don't know, maybe he's just going to keep searching and is decided what he's going to buy, even though he hasn't checked the shop.
Yeah, I'm curious what number he's looking at. I'm guessing he's looking at 2300 before he goes to the shop. That's a broadsword and a large shield. And there he is.
Yeah, there you go. So, DK is selling his curse belts. Might buy some fairy water. Broadsword and no large shield, but that's good enough.
Yeah, there is a flame sword there, but since the broadsword's there, he's not going to bother saving up for that.
And yes, the chat, the Death Necklace, in the way it works in the rando, in the vanilla game, it's like a 1 in 32 chance of popping up, but in the rando, it always pops up as the Death Necklace unless you turn it off with that flag. And then anytime you encounter it after the first time, it's 100 to 132 gold, except there's one random number in the middle that doesn't get included. It's very odd. So you can do a very weekend gold grind on them. And coal is like the one place where this just always works.
Yeah, well, anytime it's on a search tile, so what happens in Hawksness happens on the overworld, you can do the same thing. In the vanilla game, it's also the same, I believe the same range of gold. If you go and open that chest, either the first time and it's not Death Necklace, or after getting it, if you go back in the mountain cave and get that chest again, it will give you that same amount of gold.
So Beta went out, saw a cave. I didn't actually see what the cave was. Saw another town, decided to come back here to Cole to heal up.
Yeah, that rogue scorpion kind of drained his resources a little bit. With the surprise attack, he wasn't able to kind of throw off asleep and try to get it down, so he had to use heal mores and whatever. Wanted to go refill before losing position here, because it's not a fast walk to get back here.
And he sees something really terrible. Certainly he's not going to be happy about that. He is very close to level 9, and to die this far out with that gold in that spot is just very unpleasant.
I do suspect when he goes back, he will purchase fairy water at the Brecconary shop, so he doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
Oh, and DK is onto something here. He sees Goldman. He gets one of these, gets a little bit more gold, and he can get a broadsword out of Breck, and I'm sure that is exactly what's on his mind. Yeah, Beta does top off on his keys. That's, again, one thing you don't really want to have to worry about. Gets that taken care of. And DK sees a werewolf. That's not pleasant. He wants that Goldman. Gets away.
Gonna go immediately refill his resources to make sure he has maximum heal mores, lest he see that werewolf again. Meanwhile, Beta gets to level 9 and gets 2 power, 4 response speed, 14 hit points, 3 magic points, and repel, which I'm surprised he hasn't already put on.
And he might not quite know what his defense is yet, and he might be a little afraid of knocking out some things. He would be losing Metal Scorpion on the top end. Yeah, he just went ahead and checked it. And did not immediately go to the repel. Eventually got to the repel. Decided to heal first.
And DK goes and sells his other cursed belt to get his numbers all the way up to 1500, and broadsword incoming.
And that wasn't too much of a time investment. He might, I don't know, it'd definitely be quicker to just search, a tile. But he doesn't know that, and I don't think he's going to feel terribly bad when he does realize he could have done that instead.
And now Beta is comfortable going after this Star Wyvern. He's got the ability to do a little bit of damage, got a little bit of survivability with this hurt that seems to be maybe 50% to me. Doesn't want to use all his hurts away, though, because he needs another heal more out there. So he's just going to keep swinging at it and see what happens.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten too far away from start, so I think he's just going to kill this and probably die, but it's a pretty strong experience game. Meanwhile, DK has now made his way to Cole.
No, I'm thinking this Star Wyvern may be 75% hurt at this point. And as I say that, it attacks.
We did see a flame sword here. He could pull the Ziggy and just go straight for 9800, although with the broadsword, that feels a little silly.
Yeah, I totally can see doing it without the broadsword, but with the broadsword, it's not a good time investment. 8 attack power is not worth 3 minutes of searching.
Yeah, Beta did get his Star Wyvern down. I'm sure he is more than happy about that. Saw a Wraith immediately. Oh, wait, it's Mountain Cave. That's what that cave was. DK bails, goes to look for the other town. We haven't seen the Metal Slime yet lurking around, but he does take a bit of a risk on the Druin. I think he knows the Druin has DL2 breath.
As does that Scorpion, so lots of potential fiery distractions there.
It's the mountains where Mountain Cave is that are just all DL2 breath enemies. This Wyvern's nice.
Looks to me like Beta is Beta's thinking about grinding this area that has the Spectres and the Wraiths and the Rogue Scorpions.
I would say to chat, Beta is definitely in the lead. Experience has been pretty hard to come by, and even if it's only about 320 experience, that actually is quite a bit. But yeah, their exploration is basically identical at this point. DK knows that the town is Hawksness, and that's about it. Got no chests out of this mountain cave. Beta didn't go in, and now he gets to do the long walk back like Beta is.
Yeah, definitely Beta hasn't pulled ahead quite as much as it looked like he might after he found Cole. DK's staying reasonably in line with him in terms of like the deficit not growing dramatically, but it's still got a little ways to go there, and that mountain cave could potentially be difficult to get through.
I would be curious to see if either of them go back through Swamp. I know Beta saw a bit more of it than DK, but considering how far it is to walk through here, it might actually be, I mean, we don't know yet, but it might feel like they can get further going the other direction.
Yeah, and I would consider that if I were them. In fact, I would definitely do that if I were them, had I not seen the cave in town. So DK, I can see maybe doing it, except for, I don't know, Mountain Cave's a lot of treasure chests.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to abandon that for too long, especially with a town nearby, so you can go in fresh. You know, there's a green dragon there. That's bad, but you, on odds, won't die to it too often. We do see a nice crit on Beta side on that Wyvern. That has to feel good.
Yeah, the extra 14 HP between level 9 and level 8 is a kind of a big deal if you're dealing with green dragons here, because you have a lot more chances to do run attempts, whereas for DK, the green dragon can swipe for over half his HP. And there's another crit.
That Beta is just slapping everything down right now. And these enemies that he is critting, they are in Mountain Cave as well. Swamp Cave. Could be an interesting grind decision if you decide to do it.
And we haven't seen anything down here at this floor yet, so, which of course is not going to be swamp, it'll be great, but we do find the silver harp, and we already know where you can turn that in.
Yeah, not the worst thing if you die, you can go ahead and just cash that in and be done with it, not have to worry about the rest of the game. DK got through a Magic Wyvern, and it looks like he's going to try to get another enemy.
And we have wings. So we didn't get anything to drastically improve exploration or anything, but we at least got the silver harp, which means the next time we die, we can get the staff. Always nice to get that taken care of early in case you've got long distances to go before you get the other key items and the Rainbow Drop Cave, which, given the way this map is laying out, it looks like it'll be a long way to go.
So if DK is able to get through this Rogue Scorpion, he will get to 9, he'll get those extra hit points, and we might see him try it Mountain again. Beta also fighting a Rogue Scorpion, though. Plunking at it because he wanted to save his MP for heal more. Again, Rogue Scorpions have the same defense as Red Dragons, so they're not the easiest thing to kill. And DK, I think, came up just a little bit short.
Oof, that hurts. Beta checks his stats when he walks in, goes, yeah, I don't think I'm going to even try to make it to the spike tile here in Hawksness. But now if I'm Beta and I die right now, I will go across Swamp.
Yeah, he's the walking wounded, manages to get through. And those mountains, again, as we know, are very spicy, very dangerous. Probably 2 different zones there, since we've seen 3 different DL2 enemies, a Stone Man, and a Rogue Scorpion in that area.
Hey, a wolf.
Wolf's nice. You can get 2 more of those and get a level.
Warlock wakes up, breathes on DK, and he goes home again.
Yeah, he's gonna check for something. Maybe a grind, maybe the spike. He does have sleep. He has heal more, full resources, runs from an AK-47. Obviously, that's the hardest part of this.
Well, that's gonna be a tough one to work with, but gonna throw the heal mores out here. Gonna go ahead and use these resources up to see if the Red Dragon might be hiding something behind everything. Like, for example, a DL2 breath, which is very good to know about now.
Yeah, there you go. So Hawksness will remain a mystery for a while longer.
And now Beta will go and turn in his staff. Scared me there for a second by going south, but changed directions. Now gonna go get his staff and be done with that. And continue on, I assume, across Swamp Cave.
Yeah, he can walk all the way past. There was, some space that we hadn't seen there yet. I don't think it was dead-ended. But, yeah, it's a long walk around. It's not necessarily safe. He has seen a little bit more past Swamp, though, so he might be thinking it's a bit of a dead end. It just goes all the way to the west coast and then down.
Yeah, I've always been a big proponent of kind of breadth first searches, as you say, which is if you're going deep down somewhere and you die, change directions. Don't keep going down the same path. So once that happens, I'm going to go across the swamp. Swamp and dead ends, well then sure, I'll go back. But, I will take the new path I haven't seen that's shorter rather than the old path I have seen that's longer.
Right, and there he goes. So again, for those who didn't pick up on that before or weren't around, Swamp Cave exits out about 30 tiles west of Tantagel, and hey, there's nothing. So I guess you know that now.
Yep, it's good to know, and we'll be heading back towards the Cole, Charlock, Hawksness Mountain area, because that's literally the only place we can go.
So far, oh yeah, he might check the spike here instead of just throwing away or trying to progress. Be a good use of this particular life.
Also, honestly, the monster set in here is not too bad either. You might want to think about grinding.
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and heal more here because I think he's one swing away. Yeah, with the little defense he has. No, I guess he's not. Not if you're gonna swing like that. Or shoot, that was 16 in 2 hits. Never mind. I thought he was a lot closer. But it will pick him up a level. Again, he could die on the spike and go from there. Yeah, I must have taken one of the Wraith Knight's hits on him and applied it the opposite direction of my mind somehow, because that wasn't even close.
13 power, 6 speed, 19 hit points, 38 magic points. That's nice. That heal more gonna come in real handy here. It allows you to, with full resources, take on the Screen Dragon, for example.
Yes, that is what someone might call a massive breakout level, without being, terribly sarcastic about it.
Yeah, it doesn't give you a lot of extra speed in terms of starting to let your experience shoot up, but because even though you can go after other monsters, it's also really slow, but it allows you to just kind of survive long enough to be able to do all those things. And Beta is going to go back into the cave, likely to check the spike tile and then grind on whatever's there, because, Magiwyverns, we hadn't seen those in there yet. So we've got Wyverns, we've got Magiwyverns, we've got Wraith Knights, and with that extra 13 attack power, now you can swing at everything.
Yeah, it's looking like a good place to grind, and we'll see if that's what he has in mind. I think he'll probably check the spike regardless, but it might just stop here for another level, because you kind of feel like you're close to something. You got a bunch of stats, but you're close to something.
So DK is doing the Death Necklace grind again. I am curious what piece of gear he's thinking about. I think he's looking at the large shield, which is actually in Breckenary, but what's that extra defense before he goes back in there and deals with those green dragons again?
Yeah, I would have. I wouldn't have been surprised, honestly, if he just went to 1600 and assumed that he, rush it, and then if he dies, he still had enough to do it.
And our spike is a blue dragon, the beta special. He's not even going to bother seeing if the blue dragon has any abilities. He's coming back out, and are we grinding or are we leaving?
It appears that we are leaving. So we are, as everyone knows, or not everyone knows, but most people know, blue dragons are Beta's bane. He likes them so much, but they hate him so much, and it just doesn't work out. Oh man, imagine if you had the fairy flute. Now, you'd see that golem, and I would be very, very excited if that were the case. But unfortunately, we do not have the fairy flute.
Yeah, and the few times we've seen a golem do anything, it has just attacked. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a nice monster to take on, even, once you've got more HP and AP, it's going to be kind of obnoxious to take on.
And the unexpected happened. DK got ambushed by a warlock who immediately breathed on him. That just seems like the tale of the seed today.
Beta no longer caring about the hurt more on those wraiths because he can kill them in 2 swings.
Yeah, and the hit points let you tank them, so it's not too bad. Oh, hey, we have an Armor Knight with Sleep and Hurt more. So yeah, Stop Spell would be nice right about now. At least, Beta got properly disposed of by an enemy that you should probably die to, instead of a Warlock ambushing you and killing you in one shot.
We now have Red Dragons with DL2 Breath, and Armored Knights with Sleep and Hurt More. Again, Hurt More not that big of a deal. Actually might be preferable depending on their defense when they go in if they have Erdrick's armor. If armor is in Sharlock, it's going to be much more interesting. But yeah, this is one of those where you're already thinking, I might want some extra resources for that Sharlock dive.
Yeah, I saw someone early talking about, oh, this looks like a 145, 150, 1 hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, 50-minute seed, and I was thinking, yeah, stats can kick up real quick, and, I'm more receptive to thinking that might be possible now. There are so many problems lingering in this one. Man, I wonder if Beta is just gonna fight Star Wyvern to 11. He's killed 2 of them now. I don't think it's even popped in the DK's head to fight them. He's taking out this Rogue Scorpion that we're trying to use Sleep. It failed. I thought maybe he would try to use... Oh, is he going to be even able to get to the town? Oh, never mind. He's going back to Breck. For some reason, I thought he had to go west across that desert.
And this kind of thing that you're seeing from DK right here is exactly why those 38 MP is such a breakout level, is just because he could keep yourself healed up there. Don't have to take all those risks.
That 38 is like double the 37.
Beta first try runs again from the Armored Knight.
He's going after another Star Wyvern. He's got the stats to do it. He can tank a number of hurts, too, without having to worry about a spicy hit. Let's get dodged there, of course, as the Jerk Bird's got a jerk.
This is one of those seeds where you would love to acquire the magic armor, but as we have no gold grind, the only way you're realistically going to do that is by killing goldmen on your way if they show up. And that's... You're going to have to kill quite a few of them to get there.
Now, I have to correct you, sir. There is a gold grind available.
That is an absolutely fair point.
It may be a terrible idea. 50, 60, 70 some searches, but... I am going to go ahead and say that I do not think we will see that happen.
Now Beta finishes off this area where DK died earlier on the other side of that water before he heads back in the one direction.
Again, DK is into Mountain. We've seen Beta full clear this, and it was not anything special, but DK might pick up the level in here if he's able to kill some of these generally nice enemies here in the first zone.
Yeah, as long as he gets to the harp, he's good. Although, given the way this map is, really, as long as he can outside, he's good.
He gets through the Magic Wyvern, does not heal, gets ambushed by a Magic Wyvern with Greaves on him. Immediately he does heal now. I don't know what if you throw a heal more out, being 20 hit points down at 60, but...
21890 is the next level, so we got a lot of agility, we got a little bit of hit points, but not stuff that's actually going to help us, get through things faster. And DK having nightmares getting away from this Magi Wyvern. What I'm doing if I'm him, I'm checking this, and then I'm outsighting, which is exactly what he's doing. Gonna go back, go to the inn, and then try again. Assuming he gets to the inn, because that's not a safe assumption on this map. Beta now going to buy that large shield.
So I have to mention this because we both have pointed out how much they disdain these item shops, but herbs. What do you think? How many times would you have visited an item shop by now to buy herbs, and would it have helped?
I probably would have, because I would have wanted to grab some fairy waters earlier on, and that's the reason I would have gone. I don't know that I would have gone strictly for herbs. Maybe I would have by this point, I don't know. But I am not quite as much of a hater of it as I know these two are, but I'm still a pretty big, I don't really want to go here unless you're going to make me.
Yeah, like, I think I would have, and I'm not sure it would have helped at all at this point. That's the feeling I have, at least, in watching this. Oh, and DK survives with 1 hit point, does do the heal more. Wyvern was rope-a-doping him there a little bit. Swings single digits and all of a sudden almost clocks him.
DK gonna get that big level. He's looking. So why couldn't I get that level before I came back in here?
Yes, the big stat level. Hey, Droll Magi might be good. Beta is pushing out past Charlock now, that narrow path right behind it, opening up to a whole lot of world. I'm not sure if this is the only way to go, if there wasn't a slightly different direction there, but it certainly has to be the biggest span of land. So,
yeah, there's a little bit of a swamp to the northwest of Charlock, but just based on the way the map is laid out, I don't think he can go anywhere.
Yeah, so far this is kind of an S shape. It would be interesting if the land continued to hug and you couldn't really go south. You go all the way to the west coast and then south again. And when I say interesting, I mean torturous to the players. But Beta's exploration, finding Stone's Cave, does find an herb. I wonder if he'll might go back in.
Yeah, that is the question. How much of an herb grinder are you going to do here? And apparently the answer is none. I probably would have grabbed maybe 3.
Well, I missed what I'm being referred to from in chat, but first doing Grave or Mountain is the way to go. That's the speed strat. I would be scared to do it, but the herb grind. I don't think you do that at this point, but you could pop in, especially considering how far you are out, just to heal up and to maybe do that. But it's a little bit longer than just buying herbs, I think.
I said I might grab 3. I certainly wouldn't do a full one. 3's not too bad, I feel like, and I feel like it's just that little bit of extra to keep you some more MP.
Oh man, Beta going in, gets himself into the red, sees a golem, and runs. No hurt or no safety, just immediately tries to flee and does get away.
And now it looks like we're back on that west coast, just a little bit further north than where the Swamp Cave outputs us.
So it is a hefty walk over there. We'll see if DK, if he decides to do that, and if he pushes through kind of straight west like Beta did, or if he kind of hangs a little bit more south, because Beta hasn't really seen anything useful so far.
DK walks into Hawksness. sees an Armored Knight, doesn't walk out, which makes me think he is probably thinking about going to the Spike Tile, and we all know this is going to end poorly for him. Although, with 79 HP, he could tank the first DL2 Breath if it comes up first.
I do have DK Cam up because it's always worthwhile to see his reactions, and they're not happy. Would you see Beta going all the way down to the south? I think that might be the south coast, or it's somewhat reasonable. It just curls around a little bit, so... yeah. Oh, and there it is. There's the DL2 Breath. Just wasn't able to get it to cooperate enough to get that mercy roll.
Yeah, I think that was his third run attempt.
No worries, it's only 5 minutes to walk back there. And
I have totally lost where Beta is on the map now.
I think he's south-central-ish. He got to kind of the bottom and now he's curling around, so... something around maybe a zone away from the bottom and a couple of zones in from the left side. Probably made that sound a lot nerdier than it needed to be.
Alright, I was looking away, but DK walked a bit in Swamp Cave and then hit outside, so I'm assuming he just got the Blue Dragon news in Swamp Cave, and as soon as he goes over here, he will have no intention of ever walking back in that location.
Now, who knows? Maybe we'll have some fun coordinates over there. And Beta is just finding so much nothing. He has pushed exploration so hard, and it's just being... If he were still mapping, it would just be empty swaths of land.
He gets all the way out here, and now he does get away from that Armored Knight last chance.
This might just be the game having some fun with him, giving him some hope. Star Wyvern that he'd love to fight, but can't do it anymore. He is on his last legs.
And here's the time when having an herb would be nice. He has an herb. He could use it if he wanted to. He has opted against that.
Maybe he's forgotten. There would be no reason I would not want to be using that circuit right now.
Apparently he used the herb and I missed it.
Okay. Thanks, Tilo.
If only he'd had 2 more thinking face emoji.
If only he did an herb grind. I'm just kidding. Hey, oh gosh, with double dust here. The metal slime has ambushed and taken out DK. It's just getting back to civilization is so hard. And there is nothing that makes this easier than there's no untainted zone. Now, he could have had Repel up. I guess that might be the thing that could have made it easier.
Yeah, he did still have the MP for that. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong person. Beta had the MP for that, but so does DK, obviously. But he also doesn't want to lose all these extra monsters over here because he'd be repelling the Wraiths, he'd be repelling the Spectres.
Yeah, so if you want the tail of the tape, this is... has DK... He hasn't turned the harp in, has he? I don't think he has. That could be bad, because he might have forgotten about that entirely. Whenever you can turn the harp in, you want to get it done as soon as possible. But that's not our problem. Our problem is that Beta has a very significant experience gap that cannot be overcome quickly.
Yeah, he's really kind of blown it open here. You know, he's just had longer at this MP level, so he's been able to take on a whole lot more. DK's also continuing to... Oh, never mind, that was sleep. I thought he was throwing a herd out there, and I was real confused, because he can swing for better than that now.
Yeah, graduating from hurt helps tremendously. Again, I don't think this is a scenario where you would think about the Flame Sword, because the extra 8 attack power isn't changing the game in any significant way. But I don't know. Maybe DK pushes out and he gets a little bit better luck than Beta does. Again, Beta's probably just going to go the opposite direction once he moves. Like, I think he went mostly west. I think he'll go mostly south once he gets out into the world past here. And we do have DK over in the area that I think he initially was once. Beta has already seen this, though. We know there's nothing. And Beta is checking the northwest area and finds a cave.
There's a lot more here than I was expecting.
It's just some musty old jerk. And another cave!
And a town! Wow, if DK goes this way, he'll break out a lot faster.
Yeah, oh gosh, DL2 by the metal slime again. Can repel. I know 52 defense and that sucks, but man.
Well, if you're not going to repel, use all that MP you have and get heal more. Or get above 72 HP, so you at least can survive one of those.
And it is Cantlin, so we might get some coordinates here in just a minute. There's a bunch of shops, but there's no money, so I don't know if he's going to care. Anyway, probably, well, he got 700 gold, but yeah, he's not going to buy anything. Probably not worry about it. I don't think there's anything that he would consider grinding for out of coal with that death necklace here.
Yeah, it's worth noting that right before he got to Cantlin, Beta went down into the went into the tablet and got their third cursed belt of the seed. So we know there's something at Hawksnest. We know there will be coordinates. So all the search piles will be occupied. We've already seen coal.
So are we rooting for armor in Sherlock or armor in Hawksnest?
Well, I would go armor in Sherlock, because as long as the stones or token are behind the Dread Dragon, we still have to worry about that.
Oh man, 98 south, 49 west. That is a theoretical double reverse count setup, because that 49 west is going to be close to the coast. And the 98 south, with what we've already seen, is going to be maybe one zone away from the coast.
Yeah, if this is the kind of situation, if I'm doing a reverse count, I'm probably going to do a single coordinate reverse count, just knowing the rough area that it's going to be, like you said, going to be near that west coast. So I'm going to single coordinate count the north-south, and then just search in a line.
Yeah, and Beta has been in that area, I'm pretty sure. So if he pushes out again, he might just swing over that way and, do that single chord count as you described it.
What I will say is, even though Beta was over there, nothing I saw of the water looked like edge of the world-ish. So it may not be possible to reverse count in that exact place because of, just because the layout, you can't know where the bottom coast is.
Beta just getting back-to-back runs from an AK-47, and he's got 70 agility. It's not nothing, but, it doesn't feel like that's something that should happen yet, even though it's not that out of ordinary.
DK throws up a heal more when he first used the metal slime, the absolute right decision, and the metal slime runs away.
Yet again, with all three search spots active, the only items we have seen are the harp and the death necklace. So, of course, the death necklace was on one of them. So, two of the search spots active. Mountain is clear. We have Garinham. We have Rim Chest. We have... and DK is going the wrong way to get that information. And it looks like he's just following in Beta's footsteps, so he may see an awful lot of nothing, plus that Stone's Cave.
I thought I saw a bridge in the upper section that Beta did not keep going across.
I saw that too, but he may have seen that from the starting area. I think it's pretty close to where that was, so that might be he's already written that off, sort of thing.
Yeah, or it could be when he was traveling on the north part of that area before he went to this section, he also saw that bridge. Or he might be going back there right now, who knows? Nope, he's heading back.
And as Chad has pointed out, while this has happened, DK has caught up quite a bit in experience. There's a lot of important stuff that Beta has done in the meantime, though, that can't really be quantified in that way, that DK will have to do, unless the coordinates are the flute, and in which case he won't have to.
So here's DK on that west coast area heading south, and maybe you can say that bottom is the coastline, but as you see, there's one set of tiles that's one north of that also looks coastliney, so who knows if that far left one is actually the coastline.
Yeah, geographically it feels like it could be the bottom, but you're not 100% sure. I think just like right there, you see that one dot that goes south, that would give me pretty strong feelings for it. And yeah, unfortunately, if DK had went to Cantlin, there's a chance he could have tried to do a reverse here. Again, he knows how to do it, but he's not incredibly comfortable with it. With this sort of offset, I think he would consider it, though. And he is having fun with this Armor Knight while Beta is having fun with the Stone Man. The Stone Man does seem to be pretty nerfed, though.
I will note that I don't actually believe DK has seen the sleep out of the Armored Knight yet. It must be a 25%, but I think Beta's the only one who's seen that at this point, which could be of note in a potential future part of the game.
So Beta does get through the Stone Man, was stop spelled, but the Stone Man was very hurty and managed to get through it anyway. Also getting through this Demon Knight, I think, maybe, sort of. Demon Knight, who I think had stop spell as well, but isn't using it.
DK's gonna get his herb. 3, 16, 12, and 7. So agility flying off the charts. We've now got 100 HP.
The stats are pretty solid at 12, except for the strength, and unfortunately that is the stat that you really need to come up to possibly get through Hawksness, I think.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to tank 72 damage at 100 HP consistently enough. I mean, you could get low swings from the Red Dragon, but I don't think you'll get them consistently enough to make it doable when you have to swing 8 times.
Yeah,
well,
here we go.
Beta gonna try the reverse.
I don't remember the exact count, but it's going to be a little over 10 steps, I think. Yeah, and he doesn't know how far over, so he's just going straight from the coast. Better to be thorough when it comes to stuff like this than to be just guessing. Oh, and there's a town on DK's side.
Okay, I think that might mean that this is a false coast, unless he goes up right here from this little dip, but I think that's way too far east at this point. Maybe not, though.
Yeah, my concern is that I'm not 100% sure what the count was off of the side, and so that might be the thing that that could be the possibility that he has the count off somehow. I mean, you've seen it 1,000 times and you don't think it would be a problem, but It still could be. And hey, that town actually showed DK where the other towns were that he missed, or at least the first one, and it's Rim.
Rim, which would be an absolutely enormous find if the game hadn't given him all the keys at the very beginning of the seat. And DK gets the flute. That means there is definitely something of that is necessary over on the coordinates.
Yeah, and yeah, that's actually a bit of a big relief for Beta. DK, did he use, like, I don't know, for some reason I felt like he used all of his keys. Maybe I was looking at it wrong. Maybe it was something else.
Well, he only had one herb, because he got that one out of the cave, so maybe that was the one you saw. I don't know, I didn't see it, so he might have used his last keys, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I haven't exactly been known to be a good tracker, so I do think that town to the east is the town that Beta had already seen, Cantlin. So he might trace his way all the way around there, get those coordinates, and then we'll see if he is willing and able to do the reverse, if it's even possible to do.
Yeah, like, if I'm thinking about doing a reverse and I see what DK and both DK and Beta saw when they went down the west side, I would say, all right, Princess Rescue time.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if DK did that too. Especially, it depends on what the spike is, of course, but it wouldn't surprise me. What I meant to say earlier, and I screwed up on, was it's actually a big sigh of relief for Beta that Rim didn't have anything super important, because I don't know that Beta's ever going to go back that direction.
Speaking of something super important, we just found Garanham on Beta's side.
Yeah, it's three chest checks and possible grave underneath. Actually,
I think at this point it has to be grave.
Yeah, that's it. He's got grave, he's got Hawksness, he's got the search spot, he's got this. This is the end of the exploration minus Rim for him.
Yep, he will probably never get the fairy flute.
Unless sword or armor is in Charlock, then he might press for it, but he might just abandon it.
Oh, that's a good point. But there's the stones, so either armor or sword is on a search location. Or both.
The armor underneath Red Dragon Dream is still alive. DK going after this Wyvern, though. Looks like he's found a little bit of his own. He's going to pick up 12. I wonder if he'll keep at it past this.
They have gold, fairy water, and
suspense.
Well, we now know where everything is. He
Yes.
doesn't, because he doesn't know that Rimildar has the flute, so he's still got to dive this. But we now know that all he has to do is go back to those search tiles, and he's in grind and go, which really is putting DK in a rough position.
Yeah, and the Red Dragon is not wonderful, but you can get through it now. Maybe at 74 AP it's a little bit weak, but it's possible to get through it. So that's my guess. I'm just going to say that the sword is underneath the Red Dragon to make it the most maximally painful option.
One option out there is to buy fairy waters and fairy water it to death. That gives yourself more damage, I think, than you might get with just the AP. I'm not sure exactly what the AP range is, but I don't think 74 is doing very much to a red dragon.
Yeah, I don't think Beta would do that. I don't think he would ever fairy water a Red Dragon down. That seems like not something he would even ever think about doing.
I believe DK is getting pretty close to where Beta is, if I understand the map correctly.
It'll be in the exact same situation Beta is, though, where he doesn't have complete knowledge, because even though he has the flute, actually, you know what? No, never mind. I don't. Has he seen all three cursed spells?
No, because the other cursed belt is right by Cantlin.
Yeah, okay, there you go. So, also not full knowledge, also suffering and pain. The best thing Beta could see here is the fighter's ring, and that is not what he found.
Axe Knife with Hurt. That's a nice find.
And yeah, Beta's gonna lose a little bit of time. Well, maybe not lose time, because there might be some good fights. And again, 13, you might not feel sad at all if you get 13 before fighting that red dragon, just because of how hard it's going to be.
While we were talking about coordinates, one thing you could do if you wanted to, we know that you can landmark that spot right across the swamp cave. So when you go into the swamp cave to rescue the princess, instead you could just go across the swamp cave and count off your 49 west, know exactly how far from the coast you are, and then go back to where you were and search kind of in where those two lines intersected and around there.
Right. Oh, hey, look, we're in the same area. DK just needs to go a bit north. There. Yeah, that is the exact same location. Erdrick's armor is in grave underneath Garenham, which DK, if he can survive to get there, should find fairly quickly, because he's probably going to turn up at this coast. And Beta is just enjoying fighting these stone men. I know it. I can feel it. His joy exudes through the stream as he sleeps the stone man and fails. So yeah, this is good. DK does have the experience lead. He hasn't had it basically since the start of the seed. And if he's able to get to Cantlin, oh no, okay, he's not going. You gotta go to the coast, man. Not this. This is nothing.
Oh, this cuts off quickly, at least.
I guess I'm slightly worried because he is getting pretty low on resources. He should be fine, but you never know what's lurking around here.
Yeah, I would like it a lot more if he'd throw Repel up right now. I know he wouldn't get this Rogue Scorpion, but I feel like he found a Metal Slime somewhere in this general vicinity.
It is also worth noting that we have seen golems in a zone. That might be the thing to do right now with the flute, if DK is able to get over that way. They're not great to fight with 74 AP, but they're a huge chunk of experience still, and this Axe Knight might be the best thing, and this does not feel super hot. And yeah, as you sort of mentioned before, right now Fairy Water does more damage to the Red Dragon than Beta would with his sword.
And now Beta's going to come across Remeldar, get the good news of the flute, and he will be in full no mode.
Yeah, it's not... Like, you wish you would have seen this a little bit earlier, but whatever. You're fine. You take it, you move on. And DK can't get anywhere without fighting things. They're good fights. He's gaining experience, but holy cow, this desert is making the 1 and 8 look like a 1 and 2. Yeah, I've been wondering about the Princess Rescue. I think a lot of it comes down to what that enemy is. I don't think Beta's going to want to, but if he's feeling pretty good about everything, he might go ahead and do it. DK might be more of a... because he's going to be going back to start before he sees Cantlin, so he's not going to have that info, and he might just go ahead and not do it because of that, if he's confident in the count.
Well, the thing for DK is he's going to get through here and know he still has 3 items to get, which means he's going to know there's well, I guess he's not going to know there's something on the search spot, but he can make a high probability guess there is something on the search spot, which may flip it in the other way of doing a preemptive rescue, but the flip side of that is that you also run the risk, if you do the preemptive rescue, of not having an extra slot for fairy water, which given our strength may be very important.
I'm a little confused at what Beta is doing. I'm wondering if I don't think he'd be lost, but I wonder if there's something that he thinks he's missing. Or maybe we didn't see him see, because I didn't really understand what he was doing searching north of Rim. I think we've seen the Jerk Cave, right? On both of their ends?
Not on both of their ends. The Jerk is over by Cantlin and Tablet Cave, so DK will see it when he goes behind Charlock.
Okay, yeah, and he knows, like, he saw the town over there, so whenever he gets back to start, that has to be his first thing to do. Can't leave a town open, 80 minutes into a seed. DK might get level 13 in here, and, Hurtmore or something like that might help him a little bit with experience, but he's not going to get tremendously faster than Beta. No, look, Metal Slime.
Okay, thank you, DK.
He does have a lot of defense, so I can understand not wanting to have Repel up. But...
Yeah, but now, of course, that he's got the Erdrick's armor, the Repel's not as important.
Yeah, Beta should be able to get through the Red Dragon. It's going to take a lot of resources, but unless it has back-end heal more, I think he'll get through it.
Meanwhile, this Green Dragon is going to get DK to level 13, so we'll see. Maybe a stop spell comes, and you go ahead and lead with that.
As Beta also gets 13 on that Stone Wind.
2, 1, 11, 2, and stop spell.
Well, the stop spell is a bit overdue. Not sure it's as important now as it was 10 levels ago.
I want to throw it at the next Armored Knight I see. That could be a big deal of making sure you get away safely. And sure enough, there it goes, and the spell had no effect. And then he gets put to sleep.
Ow.
But it's worth knowing.
It's at least 1 out of 16, and now you would assume it's at least 2 out of 16.
And I'm guessing it's about 50-50 at this point, and will not want to try anymore.
He does finally get it. He didn't think about heal mooring. Again, the more heal moors he uses, the less the Red Dragon is a sure thing, and he just runs away.
This fight feels so bad.
Those are 2 good swings. I think he's doing 7 to 15.
Although, when you have to swing this many times, you very well have a real good chance of throwing out a crit at some point.
Now, we know you never actually crit when you need to crit. It just happens randomly in weird scenarios. But yeah, he's got enough hit points. He's been able to get 2 hits in per heal more. Should be fine.
DK sees a hurt from the blue dragon and throws out a stop. Oh, there's a sleep on the blue dragon. That adds some more fun to things. Even it follows that with hurt, so it's not going to be dangerous, but it can be a real massive slowing factor in a dive.
Oh, buddy.
You're not going to be repelling them.
Yeah, you were somewhat prescient there. The Red Dragon has heal. He does get the stop spell out. It does stop him from using it, but I'm not going to be able to take another one out.
Yeah, and it kind of means this won't be the grind, because once they have enough strength to outswing the heal, they'll probably be in go.
And he gets it! Hooray! Alright.
So now we know the token is on the coordinates, and let's see what Beta opts to do coordinate-wise. I'm kind of interested in the fact... I guess he's going to go refill his resources first. I would have expecting an immediate return.
You know, DK probably feels pretty good about these blue dragon kills. With the stop spell, they're just super nerfed, and I don't know that he's gonna want to go. Is Beta trying to die here?
Yeah, he wants to go back. He wants his resources filled, but he wants to go. Or he wants his resources filled, and he wants to go back to the castle. So rather than just cast Return, he's let these monsters refill his resources for him. Or he's casting Heal More and completely saying, "I don't know what I'm talking about."
Yeah, I'm confused. Maybe he isn't 100% sure what he wants to do either. I mean, if he wanted to go back to start, well, I guess no, he doesn't need any to go in the castle, so it does make sense to heal before going back or to just die.
Yeah, it also could be, hey, I'm fighting a metal slime. Yeah, it might send me back, and if so, that's not really a big deal. But every time I heal, it's another chance that it's gonna run away. So I'm gonna gamble on not healing for that exact reason.
Yeah, and this still is a situation where experience is not easy to come from, or to get. Even that red dragon would probably take half of his resources that he stats. So he did pick up Erdrick's sword, though. That was what we had there. So that will make the red dragon more appealing to fight. But we'll see if he goes there or if he decides to do something about that token.
I would well, he's looking like he might do it again. I personally would go into the general golem area and try that out, because I feel like you're gonna have... I think you'll ultimately have better resource expenditures with that, especially given how low the stop spell appears to be.
Well, DK does finish it up, and he's going to probably push and do a little bit more exploration, but I don't know if there's much left on his side. Maybe he hasn't seen that bottom left corner. No, I'm pretty sure he did, because he went straight up after that.
Yeah, it could just be that... he saw Cantlin, but he didn't know exactly where it was. Or it could be he's literally walking back that direction rather than casting Return. We'll see. Plus, even though he knows where Cantlin is, he doesn't know that the other things are right with it, so he wants to kind of make sure he closes off every little crevice before he has to go back into this gigantic southern area.
Yeah, man. This red dragon, this has been one heal cycle. Beta has not killed one yet, and this is what is happening. This is awful.
Apparently, Star Wyverns have Heal More.
That's news to Beta.
Well, DK's killed a number of them too, but at least I think they have. But he finally said, "All right." DK kept swinging afterwards, and I was very confused as to why you would risk taking 6 more swings. But then he finally threw a stop.
The thing about the blues is I don't think Beta knows this stuff yet. If he does go to rescue the princess, he'll probably figure it out, unless the blue dragon decides to just not cast any spell or to just use sleep or, whatever. But Beta should be able to get through this one. I don't know, man. He did risk a 46 swing earlier. At some point, that isn't going to work, but I don't know. I don't know what else you do. This is probably still better than the blue dragon, to be honest. Even if he's getting 3 on one heal cycle, it's still...
I don't know. It's hard to quantify, because if the blue dragon's resist is super low, then you can stay on the blue dragon forever. Because it's very, very spell heavy. So it's not a great fight, but you don't ever have to refill. But now that he has died, he's going to go get those coordinates. It looks like he's heading towards the princess.
So yeah, if that is the corner, it counted 5 spots off the coast. That'd be 103. So it'd be a 16 offset. I don't remember exactly how many steps he walked, but I felt like it was more than that. I don't know. We'll see when he gets down there with the princess how this exactly works.
Well, I don't remember if Beta's seen it or not, but maybe he just threw out a preemptive stop spell on the Blue Dragon, or maybe he'd seen something already, but he got this stop spell out before the sleep came out. And now they are very few experience apart, and this Blue Dragon is going to give DK the level, but it will not give Beta the level.
That sounds about typical. I wonder if I'll fight another one. I don't know. I guess if I would do that, I would do it before getting the princess, just in case the sleep leaked through. But I'll get it fast enough here anyway. Still, as far as the seed goes, Beta is firmly in the lead, experience or otherwise, just because he has seen everything. He is one token away from go mode, whereas DK still needs to figure out how to get to Cantlin cave over there, and etc. And just not being able to move very fast where he is. This exploration, these grinds have completely bogged him down.
1 power, 2 speed, 9 hit points, 2 magic points, and hurt more. Well, hurt more now, I think, is going to help DK out and kind of staying roughly even in experience, especially with such a horrible strength gain. It's not like Beta's going to be killing those red dragons any faster. While they are a lot of experience, and he definitely caught up, it was faster than what DK was doing. DK was having to swing down everything, like the Star Wyverns were taking him 5-6 swings, and now the Star Wyvern will take him 2, because he will swing first and then hurt more.
Yeah, again, hurt more green dragons, that's nice. That's about it. Of course it fails, right when I say that. The Axe Knights are too far out of the way, I think, and I don't think you want to go back over there ever again. Because this map is a real, Z shape. Start in the middle, all the way to the right, then kind of cut through the middle, and go down, and then all the way to the right. It's a pretty gross map, super linear, with just a couple small things, and those small things have bit DK a little bit here.
Also biting DK is Hurtmore and Green Dragons. He is now 2 of 4 on landing Hurtmores on Green Dragons, I believe.
That's about it, what you expect out of a 1 in 8. And Beta is, he's I think he's just going to go straight to the count, get that done, turned in and cleared out before, because if he gets a level before getting to the Red Dragon, well, you know what, he's not going to get to a level before he gets back to the Red Dragon. That's too much experience, but he's probably in no eager rush to go back to that.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of experience while just doing the wander to the coordinates, and so there's really no reason to sit at that, so long when you could get everything and be good to go. DK did know exactly where to go, so he is going to see the Jerk, and in just a moment he's going to see the other caves, and there's the cave, and there's the Cantlin.
Yeah, he's checking the shop. I think he needs some more keys, or
Maybe, I guess he didn't realize he had a broadsword.
Yeah, he's trading in one broad for another. So just pick up some keys, he'll get the coordinates, and again, we'll see what he decides to do. If we see an immediate return, then it's very obvious what he decides to do. But, I don't know. I mean, he's seen plenty of blue dragons. I don't know if he's seen that spike, though. No. And again, I haven't been checking his items close enough, but we don't really think that he has picked up anything yet, has he? As far as the Sapphire Cave goes.
Yeah, I don't think he has. I'm thinking he's probably going to want to check Hawksness before he does this. Because if Hawksness has something, then he will know, I need to go dive that tablet cave. But if Hoxus does not have something, then he will know, or if Hoxus has something, he knows the coordinates of the last thing.
Yeah, I guess that's why he wouldn't bail, because there was that cave left. I mean, if he knew his tablet, though, I'm surprised he actually went into Cantlin first. But because Cantlin wasn't going to tell him anything about checking this. Wait, actually, why is he checking this? Oh, yeah, no, that's right. He doesn't know about Hawksness.
Now he knows about Hawksness.
There you go. And the curse spell. Perfect. So the false bottom floor of the world people might be right here. Beta is all the way down in the bottom.
Wow, that's a real false bottom.
Yeah, that's off by one entire zone. So there you go. Gets the token. He is now, he'll get the Jerk Cave near the grind, and that's all he needs to do. DK in on the Red Dragon, throws out the stop spell. Does he know about the heal now?
He does not. It was that preemptive one to, in case of the heal, and he's going to get mightily disappointed shortly.
Uh-oh.
The missman you heard, more.
You expect it to happen at some point, and it's always the worst possible scenario. You just hate that, because now that's going to be over you the rest of this, like the entire time. But he still had to do these trade-ins. Honestly, he had to come back here at some point, so it's not the worst thing. He knows, he's going to get the Staff of Rain. He's probably going to rescue the princess. Again, things he had to do anyway.
And he knows he's going to have to walk right past that area again to go get there. So, both for the rainbow drop and to go get the item on the coordinates. So he'll be by Hoxus enough times that getting sent home isn't really a massive time loss, since he's rescuing the princess anyway. Or one assumes rescuing the princess.
Right. It feels really bad, but ultimately it isn't that bad. Obviously, you'd rather get that stuff, sooner than later, but... And Beta is now made his way back. He is almost to the back end of Sharlock. My guess is he'll just go ahead and turn in the token immediately, and either probably rest in Cantlin and come down here to Hawksness.
DK does not rescue the princess, so he's going to try to reverse count it the same that Beta did, and he's going to find out the unfortunate news and then think he screwed up the reverse count, be really frustrated, only to find out that it was actually the map who screwed up his reverse count.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that will be kind of hovering over him here, like these sort of last few events in the seed. Even if he had done this, even if he was able to nail the count, Beta still has a pretty significant lead in this race.
However, it is worth noting this is not an easy Sharlock, so there is the potential for bad things to happen. The sleep on the axe, the armored knights could be problematic. The DL2 breath on the red dragons can be problematic. If there's a bunch of red stuff in every zone, it can be difficult to make that dive.
Indeed, we have seen so many Sharlock enemies with so many abilities. Honestly, there's been very few enemies in this game that we haven't seen have some sort of ability. So there's still a lot kind of in the flux there. DK sees the heal. He sees the stop spell resist again.
I mean, the last game between these two, while DK was behind on exploration, grind decisions, I guess they ended up grinding the same thing. I'm getting races confused, but grind decisions could totally open stuff up. I was thinking of Slamu Archfield race 2, where grind decision made up a deficit. And so if Beta stays on this, and it's, more difficult than, say, the Golem out in the desert, then perhaps 31-0-13-7.
Yeah, I was wondering if you noticed that. This is suddenly kind of close. Death Necklace would put that at, what, 12 swings on 11 Healmores? Oh no.
I mean, you've got to go, but it's not safe.
This is, I would say this is actually good news for DK, although he's now slept by Armor Knight. Because this is what I would call a borderline level. Normally, I wouldn't feel this is borderline, but in this situation, considering everything we've seen, I'm not sure I'm super comfortable here. Now, Beta is going to realize he never got the draw. I think you would put the Death Necklace on here. I think it's too many swings to save, and there's not that many Healmores, so I think this is Death Necklace.
And if you weren't going to equip the Death Necklace, you'd want to get Fairy Water, and that's another time drain.
Indeed. So he could also check for the Fighter's Ring if he really wanted to, but I don't think that even saves a swing at 138 to 140. It definitely would make the last swing a little bit safer. It saves like half a swing, I'll put it that way.
Now DK is about to have a sad.
Now, if he had the West Coast offset, that would be pretty amazing, but I don't think he has that. You know, maybe it was that island down there that we couldn't get to that DK just saw. That might have been the thing that kind of set Beta on realizing that that wasn't the actual floor of the world.
DK going at this golem now. Credit for not very much, but we know that will not last long. He only needs 2 more of those, and he's in go.
I'm actually mad about this seed that it's just debating the reverse count here. You know, you have a chance to do something cool, but no, the game's just gonna say no, and he walks right over top of it unknowingly.
And here goes the Cursed Search. Meanwhile, Beta gets to Zone 2, so we'll see if anything of interest is here, but he got through Zone 1 alright.
Yeah, we have not. We've seen pretty decent enemies so far, and hopefully, for his sake, that continues. If it is, he's going to be a strong favorite to get through, as he's been essentially unmolested.
Yeah, while those red things are dangerous, everything else is really, really nerfed. And so there's just really no risk unless you see a red or an Armor Knight. And you'll need to see several of them at this point. So we're through Zone 2, and let's see if Zone 3 is going to throw any curveballs in. Also possible that there's a red dragon on the spike tile, and if Stop Spell is not cooperative, I guess with this AP you could probably swing through that heal, but it would not be fun, and there's still a lot of damage that thing can do.
Yes, to respond to chat, that south border down there isn't actually the corner of the map. We've been a little bit tricked by it. It seems like it is, but it is not. So DK is coming back here, and he's doing something. I'm not 100% sure what he's going to do here. I think he wants to drop the count over across the way and figure out how far he had to go. And again, this isn't going to amount to anything. However, Beta is all the way around Bama Sharlak into our grind style.
And unless this thing sleeps him and sleep blocks him, he is clear. The Hurtmore fails, and he gets slept.
Just
he wakes up.
Like, you know, the stop spell resist isn't very good, so or is too good. So you do the thing that makes the most sense. Just nuke it before it can sleep you. And But he is able to get through. He didn't lose any heel mores, and he's almost there. Now the Stone Man of all things is being stubborn.
I'd expect nothing less for Beta. All right, Kid Is he going to get away from that? Okay, he does. Now he's in really good shape.
Yes, talking to the Dragon Lord again. Probable Death Necklace equip. In fact, without Fairy Waters, it's almost... I don't think he can win without it. And he will be... should be a swing up. So as long as the Dragon Lord DL1 cooperates, the ambush might be important. Dragon Lord is currently not cooperating.
Meanwhile, this spike tile to rescue the princess is also going to get DK go level.
And there we go. He finally stopped using his words, and it's down. Beta starting the fight, and no ambush is going to probably get a double here, be a strong favorite to finish this up. What's that? 12 and 16, so we are at 28 damage again. If Beta wins this fight, he will win this best of 3 series and move on to the semifinals for the first time.
Excellent rolls already. Got another 13 or 15 for 43.
I'll have to leave the counting to you because, as usual, I lost it immediately.
Alright, that takes us to 55 right there. And then that gets us up to 71. These rolls are incredible.
He's rolling 9 and 19, so mid-double digits isn't surprising, but...
And there's a 19 to take him up to 90. He's probably going to have multiple heal mores left at this rate. And another 18. These rolls are ridiculous.
He doesn't even really need crazy rolls, so the game is doing him maybe a little bit of a favor when he doesn't have to.
Finally gets a bad roll with the 10. That's, he's at 118 now. $11 takes him to 129. $14 takes him to 143.
At this point, it's as long as the heal more doesn't flop like it just did.
It gets to 153.
The heal mores are really weak.
That takes us to 166. Get your GGs out for Beta, who will be appearing in the semifinals. He will be our first semifinalist of the year.
GG's to him. Yeah, just an extraordinarily well-run race. He didn't push the exploration quite as hard at the beginning, and it paid off. Took a lot of smarter fights, was able to just keep the experience high over his opponent until it, as long as it mattered. And then here he is, moving on to semifinals again for the first time through what is one of the most insane paths up this far.
Yeah, this was an absolute murderer's row that he's gone through so far. And now DK is understanding that he was absolutely trolled by the false coast.
And Beta was just on the brink of elimination, had to go to a tiebreaker down 1-0 against Nest Cardinality, was able to win that tiebreaker, was able to get back into that series, won Game 3, won a slugfest with Diabetes, and now taking out DK, who, again, our Winter League champion of the Alt Standard series, and has just had an extraordinarily good year, even #1 in the race time standings for a while, and just not able to keep up in this one. So huge props to Beta, has just really done extraordinarily well.
Good news for DK is that the count is not what cost him the race, because obviously the same thing happened to Beta.
Yeah, if anything, if I have to define, say what happened, it was just that Beta was a little bit more patient at the beginning, got more experience, got moving a little bit faster, and it just was ahead of DK in experience when it mattered, and when it didn't matter as much, was just way too far ahead in exploration.
We've got Beta in chat. GG Beta.
Thank you very much.
I have to start by, I've been asked by chat to ask you how you felt when the Hurtmore on the Armored Knight missed on the spike tile.
I felt like that was very much on brand for me. Like, I was thinking about what I would do if the Armored Knight rolled onto the spike on the entire dive, basically. I'm like, okay, so I think I'm going to swing Hurtmore because it had massive stop resist, and I just wanted to get through it as fast as possible, not give it a chance to sleep lock me, and then, of course, the 1 in 16.
Another question I have is your thoughts on the coordinate count.
That was actually really interesting. So obviously the reverse is really straightforward based on where we started, but then I figured it would be somewhere towards the bottom left quadrant at least. Like, I didn't have a very good sense of where we were east-west at the start, but I felt like the coordinate count would very likely be in the bottom left quadrant, and then so I just searched that one row thinking that that was the bottom, and then when I went east like one screen or a screen and a half or something, that's when I realized it wasn't actually the bottom of the map, and then I couldn't get a reliable sight of where the bottom of the map was, and then I was just like, alright, we just have to rescue the princess if that's a thing that I need. Felt kind of bad, but, it is what it is.
Did you consider counting just west from the castle rather than rescuing the princess? Because the swamp cave would let you continue your count from the castle.
I could have done that, but like once I established that like it's a false coast and I can't reverse, it's just like I'll just get Gwaelin and just beeline back down there and not take any chances with it, and not like eat time doing a single coordinate count either and trying to maintain that, because it's just like Swamp was relatively close to start, so it wasn't really out of the way once I went home again.
All right, we've also got DK in chat. GG DK.
Yeah, GG Beta. Another one where I felt that I was way behind early, but I also got trolled on the false bottom. But I'm not astute enough to have realized that it went further down on the other side. But I was like, it's got to be further left. I did check further to the right there briefly, but I also got the princess. But and then was amazed when it where it was located. But that was about the time you were finishing. But everything went wrong on this one. There were so many no effects. Like the amount of no effects on sleep in the seed was absurd for me during the early to mid game. I'll be honest, I never found a grind at all, so that felt terrible as well. But I don't know.
I don't feel like I found a grind either. GG's to you as well. This is one of those seeds where it's like, even though I won, I felt like the whole seed was pain. Like, I didn't really think I was doing anything particularly useful or efficient. Like, I was missing sleeps on wyverns constantly, and it's just like, I don't know. Like, I was semi-tilted, but I just accepted the fact the seed was complete garbage from the get-go. Like, once I saw the warlocks with DL2 and heal more, I'm just like, alright, this is what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I put in chat, good luck, hope it's terrible. And it was absolutely terrible. And it made me laugh so much along the way. It was a little annoying getting all the sleep misses on just the silliest of crap. And like, for some reason, that 1 in 5 warlock seemed to be so prevalent in that east-west zone. And then, of course, now I checked the south zone and got DL2'd by a scorpion immediately. I don't know. I think 6 or 7 of my first deaths were DL2, and then I started getting the Hurtmore barrage afterwards. It was pretty humorous, to say the least.
I would like to ask you, DK, the metal slimes in that seed, you opted to keep repel off. even though they were causing you an untold amount of misery. I don't know. Did you?
I got killed by the
deaths to
first
them?
one. Obviously, didn't know the DL2. The other two, was in zones I didn't even know they existed in. But if I repel, I'm repelling stuff that I can't kill otherwise. We were so damn weak with a broadsword, you couldn't kill anything, so you had to leave repel off. But once I identified zones, like when I went into the grave, and then realized it was there, threw a repel up immediately. Same thing with mountain. When I went down to zone 2, threw repel up immediately. So I disagree. I put up repel as soon as I was cognizant of them being in zones. I just didn't know they were in zones previous to.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah, that was something that I was a difference between you two as well. So you had that half plate, and I think those extra 6 points of defense actually eliminated a bunch of good stuff right when that seemed to be an issue.
Oh no, I agree. I almost I at one point I was like, I'm just gonna go buy a daggone chainmail and a small shield, and then I can start repelling stuff again in certain zones, because it was absolute misery with the stuff I was losing with a half plate large shield. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed both of these races, even if I didn't win either of them. It's exactly the kind of race that I hope for anybody, not even just myself, for anybody at this point in the tournament. It's just it's usually a really fun thing to watch from a chat perspective, and gives good runners a good challenge, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Both of these races have been right down both of your alleys, and I've known, you just know, oh, these two are enjoying this more than most would.
And I do have to say, I did really enjoy that we started six off the coast in both seeds for some reason. It was very absurd.
Yeah, this definitely echoed the first game quite a bit. Kind of a long walk to get to anything, and things were dangerous on the map. Like, I feel like this map was less Sharlock heavy than the previous race was, but the non-Sharlock monsters really compensated for it by having terrible abilities. Like, I was getting blasted by Hurt More from Wraiths, and it's just ugh. It's just a lot of ugh. And I echo the sentiment. I think that difficult seeds are what I think most runners at this stage want. Harder seeds, because it's just like, if you get something that's a little too easy, you feel like it's a little bit of a slot machine sort of thing, where it's just like, okay, just go the right way, and if you do that, you probably win by 5 or 10 minutes. But it's like, in a seed like this, I feel like there wasn't any really clear-cut strategy that would have separated me from DK at any point, other than just like staying alive, maybe.
Yeah, I think staying alive was definitely the key there, for sure. So, well, no, GG's again. Good luck in the next round. Thanks for everybody putting this tournament on, and for tonight's performance as well. It'll be a fun thing to watch the rest of this. And as noted yesterday, for some people, we are absolutely back on team We Hate the Flute, which is where we've always been, and we lied to ourselves.
It's good to hear it. Thank you both for 2 awesome races.
Andy, this has been great to watch, even if the endings didn't seem terribly similar. Just a hard fought. Sometimes you get this point in the tournament, and people and chat are like, "Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this?" And chat knows better. All of us who've already been knocked out are watching, and this one was more like, "What do you do?"
I was wondering if Brian was second-guessing anything that I was doing in this seed. I mean, I remember in the first race, it was like, don't fight the Warlock. I'm like, this seed was clearly don't fight the Warlock. It was saying that loud and clear ever since I was trying to sleep it and heard it at like level 3 or whatever it was.
The only thing I recall is your decision to keep on the grind after your second red dragon and missing like 18 stop spells.
Well, I honestly just couldn't think of anything that was clearly good to do at that point. Like I don't know. I mean, red dragons are worth 350, so there's that. But yeah, this was a situation where just like everything I do feels terrible, and I should just commit to something that makes progress of some sort, because it's just like every single thing I did in that season is like, I feel like the game is just doing things to me to just make me look bad and feel bad, and it's like that was just how it felt all seed.
Well, yeah, like I said, this was brutal, and I'm not sure. I don't think anyone thought anything other than that watching this. It's hard to commentate because we're like, oh, they died, and now how many times are they going to die before they get back to, civilization? Because there's so much crap along the way, and there's nothing to grind on. There's no untainted zone, and there's hardly any untainted enemies.
One more observation I'd like to make is that once again, the armor was in Grave, and this time it was behind Garenham, which was just like way the heck down in the bottom right part of the map. And it's like when I was looking for Garenham, like I needed to find Rimmildar and Garenham still. And I was just like, it better be over here because I died trying to go over there when I ran out of resources like a while before I actually found it. And it's like I was like, I hope DK didn't get here like 20 minutes earlier, because like the armor felt kind of important in that seed too, like with all the Hurtmore and DL2 crap that was being thrown at us.
Yeah, DK had seen Rim before he saw Cantland. He saw it across the water, and eventually got back to it. It took a while, but I just remember like, oh no, if Rim is really important, this could be bad for Beta because he might never come back this direction. It's a really small gap in the exploration. And then it's the flute, and we're like, well, of course.
I will say the most disappointing thing in the race is the fact that the armor was not behind that red dragon.
I was expecting it to be, and I was planning for it too. I'm like, all right, I can't go back to the red dragon until I have... I think I'd settled on like 100 hit points. It's like, once I get to 100 hit points, I can try it and just hope that DL2 is 25%, which I'm pretty confident it was. And then, of course, it had heal on the back end, which is just... Of course you've got heal on the back end. Like, if we had to fight that, like, with the broadsword to get the armor, that would have been something.
Yeah, we did show the Red Dragon strats a little bit ago. 9 out of 16 stop spell resist, full max. So there was a lot of jokes in this one with some of the enemies. I did personally enjoy, after last seed being the Stone Man Blue Dragon nonsense, and this one, the Stone Man and the Blue Dragon seemed like two of the better fights that you could take.
I definitely noticed that, and I felt targeted by that fact.
We knew how much it was killing you inside to be killing all those stone men.
It was clearly the right thing to do. That was the most depressing part about it.
It was fun to see, though, through all that. The Armor Knight seems pretty stop spell resistant, too. I don't remember if we saw that one, but just everything had something and nothing. Well, the Axe Knight was free, but I don't even know if you saw that beta. DK swung down like 4 or 5 of those near Garenham.
I don't believe I saw any until I dove Sharlock.
Yeah, they were very hurt casty, but I don't know. Yeah, with all this, you do move on to the semifinals. I think this is the furthest you've made it in the standard tournament before.
That is correct. I made it to the quarterfinals in my first tournament in 2019 and haven't gotten that far ever since.
Pretty good for a Winter League specialist. I think that's what you've called yourself before. And we'd like to talk about who you might be facing, but we don't even know who the matchup is yet in that one. Hopefully we'll know by the end of tomorrow. It seems like the remaining Archfield Slammy race is going to be asynced, and hopefully we'll have that information tomorrow, and then at least get that series going. But you might have a little ways off. We're down to week gaps, but you still might end up having a week to practice and worry every day about it.
I'm not that concerned. I know what kind of runners all 3 of them are. Like, Slamu is very grind-oriented. Rye is very exploration oriented. Archfield, I'm less familiar with what Archfield does, but I imagine he's kind of somewhere in between the two. It's just like I just have to do the same thing I've been doing the entire bracket stage. I just have to play well and hope to beat whoever it is, because just every single matchup I'm getting is just like finals tier, basically.
Yeah, every step you go, you're building something of just a legend here, because this path is about as difficult as you could possibly imagine. And we do have to wish DK adieu with the tournament. Got Winter League this year, so one of just a handful of people who's managed to win both major tournaments, but unfortunately just not quite enough to get through this. But GG on a very well-run tournament.
Yeah, thanks. I really enjoy it. I mean, obviously, I consistently up here all the time, so it's a good time for everybody. That isn't me, at least.
All right. Any last thoughts, Tilo? Anything anyone else wants to say? We might go ahead and get out of here.
I don't have a whole lot. Like you said, we might maybe have a race, a vodcast of Game 3 tomorrow. We have more games. The last Game 3s that are currently scheduled on Thursday. Those should be a lot of fun as well.
Yes, the remaining Game 3s of the quarterfinals that we know are both scheduled for Thursday. It looks like the Hoodie Cherno race has pushed back their time a little bit, so we might be able to get both of those. Again, we do need volunteers. You might feel a little pressure that these races are so big and so important, but we definitely still need volunteers. So if you're available, please help if you can. And sorry. And yeah, tomorrow night, maybe we can have a vodcast again. Neither of the runners have finished their seed yet, but they are both tentatively scheduling them in between now and then. So who knows? Tilo might be looking at you tomorrow night for the usual, the way it feels now. I got to shout out Tilo. He's been absolutely amazing in getting all these vodcasts done, and kind of in some ways feels like he's picking up the slack from the rest of us, but I am greatly appreciative of him and everything he's done.
Well, thank you. And yeah, I will definitely put it on tomorrow if it's there, and we'll enjoy every moment of it.
All right, with that said, we are going to be raiding over to Speed Gaming 2 for a Zelda 2 randomizer race in the Speed Gaming Live tournament between Jay Coper and Tabby Orange. Our Jay Coper versus Tabby Orange. This is a high-stakes match. I believe the money bar is right after. So the winner gets the cash and the loser, I don't know. They lose. So you want to take us out, Tilo?
Yeah. So for thank you to Beta and DK again for a great race. Thank you, Cami and Renekai, for doing the restream. Thank you, Shihali, for doing the tracking. And thank you, Aaron, for joining me here in the booth. Everybody give everyone a follow. Twitch, please give Shihali her account back. And we'll see you all in the next one.